miss for this backdoor entrance. So at this point, I'm not too sure if SwitchBack is aware of the impending attack, and we'll see what he does. Both his queens are, his whole entire army is down at the front entrance, so this back entrance is actually perfect for prabuty to kind of do some damage, and we'll see what he can inflict. So he's taking out a couple overlords, which is actually very good. It's actually stopped SwitchBack from actually reinforcing his army, so now he is supply blocked. So prabuty here is taking down, is kind of focusing the queen. The queen did get 2 transfuses, a 3rd transfuse, so that was actually great play there by SwitchBack, that microwing, while all of prabuty's army was focusing down on that single queen. It got 2 transfuses, which allowed SwitchBack's entire army to pretty much take out prabuty's army. And if we take a quick look at the units lost tab, we can see the Protoss player is very far behind, almost double amounts of resources lost, as well as if you remember that early kind of skirmish there, prabuty did lose a lot of probes, but as we can see, surprisingly enough, prabuty has caught up. I think mainly just because SwitchBack did spend the rest of his larvae on army units, so prabuty here has caught up a bit. So we'll see if either player here, prabuty here is still continuing with more void ray action. We'll see if that's any more effective. I think at this point probably not, just because there are, let me just see, there are Hydralisks on the field, 6 Hydralisks, 7. So we'll see if he does maybe defend the void rays here are charging up on the evolution chamber, which is smart. But at this point, I think SwitchBack here will be well aware, and I think he will be able to defend against it, no problem. And so, in the meantime, SwitchBack here is, I think, opting to go for a gold expansion. Prabuty here does have his 2 void rays here, kind of just chilling on the side here, maybe gonna wait for an opening. Maybe when prabuty attacks the front, he is gonna maybe opt to kind of go for a sneak attack at the back. We'll see how that plays out. As you can see, SwitchBack here did get his spire as well, so we can see some air units, actually some corruptors, which are actually going to be very effective against these void rays. And we can see that prabuty here actually is looking for the counter to his roaches, which is the immortals. And we saw him earlier just produce 2 immortals, which are very, very strong. As you look at the attack, they do 50 damage versus armored, and roaches here are armored units, so just a couple shots from the immortals and the roaches will be going down. And we see here prabuty here does have 2 warp gates. He did go with the 2 warp gates into I think he has 5 warp gates, pardon me, 2 robotics facilities, and he is continuously still pumping from his warp gates. If we just take a quick look at the APM tab on both players here, we can see both players here are fairly do have fairly high APM, around the 100 mark there. So we can see, if we take a quick look at the army tab, both players here are around the same, but the Protoss player is definitely ahead. If this base does go unchecked, however, though, SwitchBack will be able to macro up almost twice as fast as how prabuty will be able to. But at this point, if we just take a look, I think, at the unit composition, prabuty here, SwitchBack here is doing a good job. He does have 5 corruptors to kind of deal with the air. I don't think he's aware of the Colossus at the moment, but when he does see them, he will be happy that he did get the corruptors. And in the meantime, he isn't actually really macroing up a fairly large army. I think he is kind of more focused on getting his economy up. His economy is back up now. We can see that the SwitchBack here did opt to get 2 upgrades, so it's going to be 2 attack, 0 armored upgrades, versus prabuty, who doesn't have any upgrades at all. So this will probably be a fairly large edge for SwitchBack, just because upgrades do play a very large role in, especially when the fight breaks out. So at this point, we just see mainly roaches and hydras for SwitchBack, which can be fairly effective against the kind of like the Protoss ball, as long as the SwitchBack remembers to kind of engage on the creep, which will allow his hydras and his roaches to kind of arc out and create that a better kind of attacking circle there. So SwitchBack here did engage, not really the best position here, but he is kind of doing a lot of damage here to Prabuty's army. Prabuty's army here is probably going to take this down here, just mainly because of these Colossus. Colossus are just doing a ton of damage, especially against the Hydralisk. And Prabuty here, surprisingly enough, was able to take that down even without any upgrades. He was able to also take out the gold expansion as well. So we can see Prabuty here is moving in. SwitchBack here is kind of holding it off a bit with the defense as well. And he surprisingly enough, he was able to take down all the Colossus. Let's just take a quick look. Yes, Prabuty here does not have any more Colossus, so the edge is actually on at SwitchBack side. Just take a quick look at the income tab. Both players are fairly around even. Actually, both have 2 bases here, but SwitchBack here, being the pro player he is expanding as well. Kind of trying to ninja a third over there. And as we can see, there's a fight going on right here. SwitchBack should probably opt to run back a bit, or maybe engage it. He should probably run back, or maybe he could also fight it. It seems like he's also winning here. Just gonna take a quick look at the units lost tab. Prabuty here is trying to engage with his probes. Probably not the best idea, just because he does have a huge army here, and he is suffering fairly large probe casualties. He is trying to defend his third base here as well. And we take a quick look. Both players here, their mains are mined out. SwitchBack here has to Maynard his workers back down to maybe his third base, which is now up. I think Prabuty here might actually maybe do a scout. It seems like he is trying to get map control, but he did actually leave his third base unattended. I don't know if he did that on purpose, but the Prabuty's base here will be taken down, so it will be 2 bases to 3 base to 2 mining base to 1 actually mining base. And as we can see, SwitchBack here did get some Mutalisks, gonna maybe trying to do a bit of harassment, but these Mutalisks should be pulled back just because they are dying to Stalkers. But actually maybe 2 Mutalisks live until reinforcements come. So right now this game is fairly back and forth, but I feel that SwitchBack here does have the advantage. Prabuty here is moving out with a fairly large army. He does have 3 Colossus, and if we take a quick look at the units tab, 3 Colossus, 9 Stalkers. The army advantage definitely does go to SwitchBack, but as you can see, just because of the earlier battle that happened, you can see how a vital role these Colossus play, and these Colossus are just completely burning to death these Hydralisks. So regardless of what SwitchBack's army composition is, he definitely needs to have those corruptors to kind of deal with those Colossus, because those Colossus pretty much won that whole entire battle for Prabuty here. So this Void right here is fully charged now, and you can see just going to town on these roaches. He does have 2 corruptors here, but these corruptors are going to be taken down by this fully... Oh, actually no. Pardon me. This corruptors actually lives with 1 kill, and he did get 1 attack upgrade for the air units, and he does have 2 attack upgrades and 1 armor for his ground army. And as we can see for Prabuty here, still not getting any upgrades yet. Let's take a quick look at the production tab. His level 1 attacking upgrades is on its way. Still producing more and more corruptors. I mean, more and more Colossus as well, which is good. I think at this point here,